Peace, love, and prosperity, family. I'm sitting here having my thought concepts, and I've been rambled through enough. I got a little black notebook that I write things down when it comes to my head, and there was one that I wanted to share. You know what I'm saying? It I actually posted something on it about a year ago. For anybody who ever received my my tags for the post that I was doing about a year ago. Very inspirational post, things that come to my mind. And since the new year been coming in, I've actually seen a lot of I've seen a lot of people been making posts as far as regarding watering your seeds. So it made me want to go back and repost the post that I made a year ago as far as regarding seeds. But I think today I want to take the opportunity to be able to vocalize exactly what it means when it comes down to watering your seeds, right? Like your seeds. When we talk about watering, you feel me? We speaking about what it is that you're pouring into. You feel me? And your seeds are the things that are either going to produce excuse me, that are either going to produce weeds or fruit and flowers, right? And we know nobody want to, what I'm saying, have weeds growing in their life. You feel me? Most weeds do nothing but they strangle the life out of everything good in your garden. They steal the nutrients from the soil to keep everything great in your life from manifesting the way that you want it to be. So when we talk about manifestation, a lot of people don't really have the opportunity to see that you may be watering the things that can produce great fruit in your life, but you also watering the negative seeds. You're also watering the weeds that are taken away from, all the positive things that you could be producing. You know what I'm saying? If anybody here got a green thumb, there's a reason why you pull the weeds out of your garden. Well, the same thing applies here, right? There's a reason why you have to pull the negative weeds out of your thought process. Because when you're constantly watering those negative weeds, then of course it's going to steal away from the magnificence of what you could have on the positive side. I mean, a lot of people never really think about it that way, because usually when we think about what we consider as freedom or success, we feel like it's okay to still have our vices. You know what I'm saying? It's okay for us to still have the things that are gonna, that makes us feel human. But this is where the concept of discipline comes in. You feel me? Because I heard somebody say today that you can't be average and completely happy. You can't be average and completely free. You see what I'm saying? And freedom is a thought process. Freedom is a thought in your mind. Now, the things that we've been tricked to think that we was free to do, we were actually, and I spoke about this in my last video that I posted, we were actually emotionally manipulated into thinking that certain things are actually freedom. But you can't never call yourself free if you've been manipulated in any way, shape, or form. Even if you are tricked into thinking that you have the ability to move the way that you want to move and do the things that you want to do, you're never actually free unless you have the ability to control your own thoughts and the discipline to learn how to remove these negative seeds, right? So what is it that these negative seeds could be? You feel me? Negative seeds, like I said, are nothing but thoughts. And I have a very strict saying that I try to go by. Your thoughts become your words become your actions, and your actions become your habits. So first of all, if you look at what type of bad habits you got, and then you do you do a reverse evaluation on exactly where your life is, you need to end up back to what is the negative thought that causes you to act in this way. It causes you to feel like you need to chase this vice. And this vice could be anything. It could be smoking, drinking, it could be women, you know what I'm saying? It could be overspending. Anything that anything that you feel like isn't producing in your life is only taken away from your production. And these are the type of things that we don't really think about. You know what I'm saying? Because majority of the time what we fail to understand is that a lot of these negative seeds that we continue to water are somehow enrooted in trauma. You see what I did there? Seeds and enrooted. They're somehow enrooted in trauma. You feel me? That's one thing that we don't think about is really going into depth and doing our shadow work, because success requires you to really look at the things that are keeping you from growing. And that's what I call shadow work. What's stopping you from growing introspectively? Everybody want to be successful. Everybody want to reach a point in their life where they feel like they have true freedom. But what most people don't want to do is really sit with themselves and understand what are the things that are keeping you from being there. You know what I'm saying? Once we came into this world, you feel me? One thing that the universe definitely blessed us all with was the potential to be. Now, what it is that you end up as in your life is based off of the decisions that you make. It's in conjunction with your thought process, the way that you think, the way that you look at life. Now, I can 150% say that a lot of the things that we view in life are not necessarily our own visions, right? Because when you look at a situation, there's two things that's going on, right? One, you are viewing it as a reality. But then there's a very interesting process that goes on within your mind. So, two, you are viewing it as your individual reality. It doesn't necessarily mean that this is what's going on, but it goes back to also what I was saying about emotional manipulation, right? Majority of the time, like, we think that we see something for what it is, but understand that if you never really get in touch with your emotional side and understand the traumas that you dealt with in your life, the things that make you feel any type of way, even for those people who like to say that they don't feel nothing, understand that you are dealing with an emotional sickness, right? We always cool with talking about, mental sickness, physical sickness, but I hate how our society has neglected the concept of emotional well-being, because you could never be emotional intelligent if you don't understand that at some point in your life, based off the traumas that you dealt with in your life, you could also be dealing with a very strict emotional sickness. And I'm not bringing this up to bring anybody down. I want you to understand that all things can be healed, but certain things can't be healed with medicines. You understand? Certain things can only be healed with how they said, you gotta take that pill. All right. We always left with one or the other. It's either the red pill or the blue pill. You know what I'm saying? And in order to escape the negative effects of yourself, you have to take a pill, be willing to sit by yourself. You will never be able to water those positive seeds in your life unless you internally deal with yourself. Everything is manifested from within. You know what I'm saying? And I break it down in the Bible quote, right? As above, so below. You see what I'm saying? There's always two realms that you have to deal with first, and we get we get so trapped in dealing with the physical realm. We get so trapped in dealing with the material realm. But we fail to understand that everything that goes on the outside of your life, the things that you open your eyes and you see on a daily basis, all once upon a time started somewhere within you. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Like, these are the things that I, you know what I'm saying, make attempts to teach my kids. Because I don't want them to be a victim of the material world and feeling like that this world is what they need to fit in, not understanding that this world only exists based off of the experiences that you had within yourself first. And these things, once again, are based off of trauma, perception, pain, and spiritual visualization. Right? Like, why do you think that someone who goes to church can be put in such a bad situation and still have the capacity to look up and say, I thank God? Now, I am, for one, nowhere near a religion. If I was to classify myself, I've studied all religions. Right? So I don't shrink myself to fit in one bubble. You feel me? But that is only based off a matter of perception. They feel, a Christian can feel like even when things are bad, as long as they have faith in God, things can be good. That is not an easy task to be able to master, right? To be in a negative situation and still want to turn to God. This is a matter of perception. You see what I'm saying? Everything is a matter of perception, but perception starts from within. Is what you see on the inside, is what you're feeling on the inside, right? So even, you feel me, like motherfuckers who are going through whatever in their life, meditate on it. I can't tell nobody to pray because I don't pray myself. You understand? And I don't, and meditation is, it puts you in a position where you don't have a choice but to sit with yourself, right? You're not talking to nobody. You understand? You're not talking to God. You're not talking to nothing. You put yourself in complete silence and you listening to yourself. That's the only voice that you're going to hear. Is going to start out with you hearing that voice in your head. And meditation is such a great analogy because that voice in your head is going to tell you, man, I'm ready to get up from here. I'm ready to move. Then it comes down to you asking the question, well, why? That's always the question. That should always be the question. It don't matter what you're doing in life. Why should always be the question. If you in a situation and you feeling yourself getting upset and you're reacting or overreacting, why? Why is it that what this person did bothers you so much? Instead, we water the seed. Instead of asking ourselves, why are we watering the seed? We just water the seed. We water that seed of hate. We water that seed of neglect. We water that seed of anger and sadness, depression. And they got all these things out here telling you that this and this could help you. In my personal experience, I've dealt with anxiety. I've dealt with depression. I've tried multiple things. It's just what I had to come to understand is there's nothing outside of me that can help me. All the help that I needed was already inside of me. I just had to make decisions to sit with myself and find my own cure. Find the cure within myself. It was there. It was there the whole time. You know what I'm saying? I wish that I'd have started learning about certain things, you know what I'm saying, a little bit earlier, because then I wouldn't have been drawn to the extent of mental and emotional madness that I had to endure. But it took me being pushed to those extents of mental and emotional madness to bring me to a conclusion of understanding that there's nothing outside of me that can fix me. Everything that I need to fix me is within me. right? So yeah, even though I am outside of yourself and I am giving you this information, I also understand that I've eliminated my ego. So I can feel comfortable giving you this information because I don't see myself as outside of you. You understand? I say that as I know my position in life. I've eliminated my own ego. So now, in order for me to be a true individual, I have to understand that I am a part of a whole. These are the seeds that I am watering in my life right now. Right? And since I've been in this type of motion, I've been able to give so many people so many different jewels. You understand? Like I talk to people on a daily basis, especially in, you know what I'm saying, like the industry that I work in. I come across all type of men who are dealing with issues in which as of right now, they're doing great. I've been able to help a few people. I've been able to watch a few people grow. You know what I'm saying? I watched them eliminate their weeds, and now they are dwelling in a realm where they're growing nothing but fruits in abundance. Right? So I want to be able to share this with the world. Right? Like I said, eliminating my ego. For a long time, I used to tell people I don't know what I was good at. Right? Even though I knew, I just never I never felt like I was watering those seeds. You feel me? So it was hard for me to see what it was that I was able to produce. Then I had to sit with myself. I had to have these conversations. I had to get out of my own way. So what exactly am I good at? I am very good at critical thinking and articulating words in such a way to where it just resonates. You know what I'm saying? So now, 2024, I am watering seeds of abundance. I am watering seeds of independence. I am watering seeds of freedom. I am watering seeds of love. I am watering seeds of connections. Why? Because for one, I don't want to just be that type of person to tell you things and not be able to show it to you. Right? I want to be able to be an example. The best way to combat all the negative experiences and the negative traumas, the feeling of people around you feeling like they're being stuck and they don't have nowhere to go, is to give them the example. I can give you the game, right? I could tell you how to play the game, or I could show you how to play the game. This is all you're going to get from me in 2024. You know what I'm saying? Me showing you how to play the game, right? Just made an announcement of how my wife and I are starting on our entrepreneurial journeys. It's been a great week. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm very proud of her. Shout out to my wife, Tanika Watson, number one. Shout out to the business venture that she has, you know what I'm saying, manifested in such a most beautiful way. Life Bloom Labs. You know what I'm saying? And it's I'm more so proud of her about it because she is definitely showing she's showing how you should manifest something. You feel me? You stay down till you come up. She put that work in. You feel me? There been nights where she didn't have the time to even have a conversation with me, and I'm not mad about it because I understand what she was going through. But she had to have conversations with herself. You feel me? She had to pick herself up, and I had to support her. Why not? Because I seen that she was watering seeds that she ain't never really watered before. And that takes introspective visualization. right? And when I say that, I mean it took her having to sit with herself and figure out, is this what she's gonna do? Is this where she can see herself? Is this a seed that she want to pour herself into? And she made that decision and she did it, and I'm so proud of her, right? And then that goes to another aspect. You feel me? A lot of times we all end up in situations where there are people who don't want to see us water the positive seeds because they don't feel like they have positive seeds. It's crazy, for real. Sometimes you might only be watering these seeds that are detrimental to your mental, emotional, and physical growth because everybody else around you is watering these same seeds. So what does that mean? It means you need to unroot. You need to unroot from your current environment and move to another one. That for a lot of people that might be like it's, you know what I'm saying, easier said than done. For someone who actually had to up and do it, it's not. It's not. As long as you have that vision of what you're trying to produce in the future, if you can plant a seed in your head and have a vision of what it's gonna be in the future, if you know that you planting a seed of, if you know that you planting a watermelon seed, then you automatically expecting a watermelon in X amount of given time. But see, we scared to plant these seeds of growth in our gardens. Why? Because we don't know that whether we're gonna grow or not. Well, it's the same thing with that watermelon seed. You don't know if that seed is gonna grow into a ripe, perfect watermelon that's gonna be great picking for harvesting. You know what I'm saying? A few months down the line, you don't know. You don't know. But for any gardener or any farmer, do that keep you from planting that? Anything could go wrong. Anything could go wrong. Infestation. You know what I'm saying? Too many people in your circle causing a negative effect to what it is that you planting. Infestation. You know what I'm saying? Uncontrollable circumstances, weather. Anything can happen in life that could stop you. Anything can happen, right? But I tell you what, as long as you are diligent, as long as you really putting that effort in, then the infestation ain't gonna stop your watermelon seed from growing. Right? It might hinder you a little bit, but when you realize that you got to get them bugs up out your garden, you know what I'm saying? The bounce back is real. You feel me? Conditions that you just can't control, things out of your control, weather. You feel me? Shit just happening in life. You don't know what's going on. Things ain't never happened the way that they happening now. You ain't seen a storm like this ever come before. But now you facing one since you feel like you planted that watermelon seed. Well, stay diligent. Stay diligent. You know what I'm saying? Because that way, once this storm over, who's to say that that seed still won't grow? A lot of people will wait for the storm is over, take one look at the situation and be like, yeah, I made a bad decision on this. I'm going to just go back to not even planting no more. Maybe this is my sign that I shouldn't plant this seed. Stop it. Stop it. That's you giving up on yourself. See, understand that the universe only challenged you to make sure that you really wanted to see that seed grow. A lot of times, there's people who will plant a seed and they don't really want to see that seed grow. They're not willing to put in the work to make sure that that seed survives even the roughest storms. You want to stop me from planting my seed, man? You're going to have to drown me. You want to stop me from planting my seed? You're going to have to kill the farmer. That's just the way that it is. Because as long as I got a breath in my life, that seed going to grow. This is the mindset that we need to adapt. You know what I'm saying? This is what we really need to start moving forward to as a collective consciousness. Because That's where we always end up, in negative places in America. You feel me? There's always going to be a storm. There's always going to be an infestation. The problem is we don't have enough diligent people that are willing to push forward despite of, right? Remember I said that in the last video. You feel me? You need to be able to be diligent despite of. And that applies with anything, despite of. I'm going to make this dream come true despite of. I'm going to accomplish this dream despite of. Why? You owe it to yourself. And if you ain't going to give it to yourself, we have to get out of this mindset of thinking that somebody else is going to give it to us. Listen, they feel like as long as they give us the bare minimum, then we don't have a right to even open our mouths, because shit, we gave you something. It's more than what you had. Maybe so. But it damn sure ain't more than I can get for myself. Just being honest. That's all. Just being honest. I feel like, once again, 2024 is going to be a year for everybody to reach a point. And not everybody's going to be able to reach this point, because I understand the dynamics of the system to know that as of right now, there are way more people comfortable with how things are going than there are people who want to change them. So if you are comfortable with how things are going in your life, if you are comfortable with the way that you live, if you're comfortable with the system that you live in, by all means, please scroll past me. But if you are not, if you feel like you are ready to, elevate from your current circumstances, if you feel like you are ready to move forward instead of standing in one place, if you feel like you are ready to plant your seed and you are willing to be dedicated, disciplined, and making sure that that seed becomes everything that you want it to be, and not only does it bring you some fortune, but fortunes in an abundance, then stay tuned. You rocking with your boy, A New Tomorrow, on the Tomorrow Perspective Podcast. Peace, love, and prosperity, family.